What is going on, guys? Alright, so now I'm going to bring you a very interesting pulse build that I'm currently still going under development with. It's actually has been pretty good for heroic missions. Um, and I just want to point out that a lot of these builds I'm trying to make so that you guys yourselves, if you ever have free time or something, you can do the heroic mission solo yourself. Because I see a lot of YouTube videos regarding, I see all these other players playing on challenging or playing, the heroic control point fours on heroic, which is fine and all. But I feel that where the builds will get the most pizzazz, it will be through the heroic missions. This is the ultimate test of how well this build will hold up. So right now we're standing in front of the Jefferson Trade Center. I'm going to run through just the first section to give you guys a glimpse of how this build operates. Now, with this build, I'm running the drone as my pulse for the spotter, and then I'm running the fire turret. So just sit back, hang tight, and I'll get back to you.
Black Tusker going after the Shade node. If they get to it, just get in there and stop them.
System disrupted.
All right, so that was the build in a nutshell. So currently, as you can see, I am running the specialization sharpshooter, for the stability with the weapons. And then I have the current army. If you watched our last video, the Fire and Fury video, it's still the same setup. The P416 with measured, the LAMG with unhinged, and then the X45 with the in rhythm holster talent. Now, where the build actually really shines in particular is the pulse. Now, with the pulse, I'm currently running a one-piece Sokolov Concern. And this has, 7% damage to elites, 8,554 health, and a 201 skill power. This is where I was aiming for, the spotter, the plus 20% weapon damage to pulsed enemies. So having the drone already with the sharpshooter specialization, because it's an active drone and it's passive, meaning you don't have to constantly keep, pulsing for the enemies, this helps a lot. And then I wanted to bring the pulse back to the division like we knew it. How you would pulse in the Division 1, the enemies would get a certain percentage towards your weapon damage. I wanted to bring that back. So with this, the spotter talent on the mask. And now you can run, you don't have to run the Sokolov Concern. This just rolled with spotter, but you could also run the Mengyu, the Murakami Industries. You could definitely run spotter with this if you're looking for a little bit more health. But you'll see where I'm going with this whole build. Next, for the chest piece, I have the Straight Vest Combat Vest by Fenrir Group. And then this has the added 10% assault rifle damage and then the weapon damage modified to 14.5%. And then you got Berserk, and this is also something I was aiming for because of the assault rifle and now the LMG being able to proc Berserk for 10% weapon damage of every 20% of max armor depleted, along with the vital 20% health. And then on this, I have the offensive mod, 2% weapon damage, 1% damage to armor, and 2% damage to health. So this is where the build and its synergy really comes in handy, especially if you're spotting, if you're using the pulse and you have Berserk on, it's very easy to clear out these heroic missions. Next, we've got the tip of the spear. Now, with this tip of the spear, I am running the 3-piece, and we'll get into that a little bit. I got 724 skill power, 18,081 health. On this, I have the offensive mod slot, 1.5% weapon damage, and then the 3% assault rifle damage. Next, we have the backpack tip of the spear. Now, the 2-piece added 20% pulse skill power. This allows me to use higher elevation mods. It was confirmed that your skill power is not in conjunction with how strong that skill is. Honestly, it's just what type of mods that you can use for your specific skill. So if you have a 2500 skill power, you can use 2500 and above skill mods, if that makes sense. Your skill power does not have any correlation whatsoever to how strong the actual skill is. It is just what mods that you can use. And that was clarified by Bruce via Twitter. We had a whole discussion about it, me and a bunch of other guys. But yeah, so 2-piece, tip of the spear, 20% pulse skill power, 611 skill power, 10,000 armor, and then with the utility mod, I'm currently using 85 skill power with 382 turret skill power. Now, what you want to do is with your utility mods, you want to try and get as much skill power for whatever specific skill you want to run, and you want it to be on the mod, not on the actual skill itself. And we'll go into that a little bit. Next, we all know the BTSU data gloves. This helps for any skill build. You could definitely run a 4-piece. There's a lot of people going on, well, why aren't you running 2-piece ongoing directive or 3-piece ongoing directive? Well, because I could, but that's only if I wanted to do a primary fire turret for the 25% burn damage. But that's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for the spotter, the 20% weapon damage, along with being able to proc Berserk, along with being able to use the pulse skill power to use the mods that we want. So as you can see, this whole build is revolving around that pulse. Oh, with the BTSU data gloves, we do have the utility mod, the 130 skill power with the 2% burn damage, 139 skill power, and then 9,756 health. Lastly, for the knee pads, we have the 3rd piece of the tip of the spear giving us 40% skill haste, which definitely comes in handy. So you're not just sitting there, taking cover pretty much the whole time. You got maybe about, for these, the highest they were 14 seconds for the drone and then 19 seconds for the actual flame turret. So with this, we have 294 skill power. The utility system on the electronics, we have 77 skill power and then 298 pulse skill power again. As you can see, definitely you want to try and get the skill power for this specific skill that you want to use. And now the reason why I say that is because, so when you go into the actual drone, you see already the sharpshooter specialization has the 80% duration. You can use the 80% skill haste if you really wanted to. But if you have something better than that, you definitely want it. So as you can see, this one here, 80.3% health, not too bad if you really wanted it. But that's only if you were looking to do something like Fixer or something, or Defender. So nothing too ridiculous. And then with here, we have the gaffer tape, 54.5% duration, 703.5 seconds. That's crazy. I mean, it's literally just sitting up there. It procs, it goes up into the air so no one shoots it. No one even knows it's there. Pulses, and it's there for pretty much the remainder of the time until you're done with your waves. So the amount of duration for this drone, and I recommend using the drone as your pulse rather than actually doing the pulse, unless you are able to effectively constantly trigger your pulse, every 9 seconds or so. But yeah, I definitely recommend using the drone sharpshooter specialization for the tactician drone. And then over here at the turret, so over here at the turret, we have currently the 50.8% skill haste. We have the 87.5% duration and the 75.2% health. Now, the duration is absolutely insane. This is roughly about 9 minutes, give or take, I believe, of it just sitting there and then bursting out flames. This allows you to, even have the fire take out the enemy, having yourself take out the enemy while you're looking somewhere else. I mean, this is a perfect combo in order for you to effectively eliminate all the waves during heroic missions if you are doing this solo. So, I mean, overall, guys, this build here really works well regarding the actual pulse. Wanted to bring it to your guys' attention, wanted to show you what you can do with it. Definitely you can manipulate this to any way you feel like it, and if you have any recommendations, if you have any concerns or you have any questions regarding just, how this build works, what it entails, what is it that you're looking for, by all means, just leave it in the comment section below. I always respond as soon as I can. But yeah, I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. This was a fun build to use. Definitely something worth a shot trying to aim for. But I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.